I was not about to fuck the nanny or gamble away our savings, but at the same time, I knew there was something profoundly but subtly wrong, some urgent question I had to answer that concerned me in isolation and couldn't be solved by waking Ray or going on the internet or padding barefoot into the bathroom and swallowing a sleeping pill. It concerned the foundation for things, beliefs I had spent much of my life writing and thinking about, the various claims I made for myself in the world. And coincidentally or not, it arrived at a time when I was about to go away. One reason I was awake, worrying about money and climate change and Macedonian border guards, was that an airport transfer was booked for 5 a.m. I never sleep well on the night before I have to travel. I'm always nervous that I'll oversleep and miss my plane. Tired and preoccupied, I arrived in Berlin the next day to begin a 3-month residency at the Deuter Center out in the far western suburb of Wannsee. It was just after New Year, and the wheels of the taxi crunched down the driveway over a thin crust of snow. As I caught my first glimpse of the villa, emerging from behind a curtain of white frosted pines, it seemed like the precise subjective correlative of my emotional state, a house that I recognized from some deep and melancholy place inside myself. It was large but unremarkable, a sober construction with a sharply pitched grey-tiled roof and a pale facade pierced by rows of tall windows. Its only peculiarity was a modern annex that extended out from one side, a glass cube that seemed to function as an office. I paid the driver and staggered up the front steps with my bags. Before I could ring the bell, there was a buzzing sound, and the door opened onto a large, echoing hallway. I stepped through it, feeling like a fairy tale prince entering the ogre's castle. But instead of a sleeping princess, I was greeted by a jovial porter in English country tweeds. His manner seemed at odds with the sombre surroundings. He positively twinkled with warmth, his eyes wide and his chest puffed out, apparently with the pleasure induced by my arrival. Had my journey been smooth? Would I like some coffee? A folder had been prepared with a key card and various documents requiring my signature. The director and the rest of the staff were looking forward to meeting me. In the meantime, I would find mineral water and towels in my room. If I needed anything at all, I only had to ask. I assured him that the only thing I wanted was to change and take a look at my study. "Of course," he said. "Please allow me to help you with your cases." We took an elevator to the 3rd floor, where he showed me into a sort of luxurious garret. The space was clean and bright and modern, with pine furniture and crisp white sheets on a bed tucked under the sloping beams of the roof. The heaters were sleek rectangular grids, the windows double glazed. In one corner was a little kitchenette with a hot plate and a fridge. A door led through to a well-appointed bathroom. Despite these conveniences, the room had an austere quality that I found pleasing. It was a place to work, to contemplate. When the Deuter Center wrote to offer me the fellowship, I immediately pictured myself as the poor poet in a 19th century painting I'd once seen on a visit to Munich. The poet sits up in bed wearing a nightcap edged in gold thread, with gold-rimmed spectacles perched on his nose and a quill clamped between his jaws like a pirate's cutlass. His attic room has holes in the windows and is obviously cold, since he's bundled up in an old dressing gown patched at one elbow. He's been using pages from his own work to light the fire, which has now gone out. His possessions are meagre: a hat, a coat and a stick, a candle stub and a bottle, a wash basin, a threadbare towel, a torn umbrella hanging from the ceiling. Around him, books are piled upon books. Flat against his raised knees, he holds a manuscript, and with his free hand he makes a strange OK gesture, pressing thumb against forefinger. Is he scanning a verse? Crushing a bedbug? Or is he making a hole? Could he possibly be contemplating absence? The meaninglessness of existence? Nothingness? The void? The poet doesn't care about his physical surroundings, or if he does, he's making the best of things. He's absorbed in his artistic labor.